agree that the Sims flaw is more... Dear God. Hey, what's up everybody? This is VisitJoan, and we hear it all the time. The Sims 4 is flawed. But what does that actually mean? Well, when you think about it, every game is flawed, and that includes The Sims. There are even things I would change about The Sims 2, as near perfect as that game is. So to say that The Sims 4 is flawed is practically meaningless. But I think we can all agree that The Sims 4 is more flawed than most. There certainly is a lot of stuff missing from the game that we've come to expect having played The Sims as long as we have. And those flaws are really just what leads the Sims community to be kind of a toxic place at sometimes. Like, you know, every time a new pack comes out, somebody's complaining about something, and everybody's talking about how, you know, the gameplay could have been better and stuff like that. You hear so much complaining. I feel like The Sims 4 doesn't get enough credit when it's due. You hear it so much that I feel like sometimes The Sims 4 doesn't get the credit where it's due. So in this video, I'm going to be going over 5 things that are good about The Sims 4. Now, couple things before we get started. Number 1, I am not an EA game changer. So this whole video is not an attempt of me trying to suck up to EA to keep game changer status because, well, I don't have it. And that brings us to number 2, is that this is based on my opinion, and it's okay to have a different opinion. You know what? It's okay to think that The Sims 4 is the best game ever made. It's okay to think it's a flaming pile of garbage. It's okay to have an opinion in between. Your opinion is valid, and you're welcome to share that as long as you're respectful to everybody else. That's okay. What's not okay is going around trashing other people. I have a zero tolerance policy for that stuff because it's just stupid. Nobody wants to deal with that. So without any further ado, here are 5 things The Sims 4 does well. When The Sims 4 was first released, there was a huge amount of controversy in the community simply because of the announcement that swimming pools and toddlers would not be in the base game at launch. Now swimming pools, okay, simple, something they can add in at a later patch, but the fact that they just didn't include toddlers was really probably the stupidest decision they've ever made. And although I'm not involved with the game development, I don't know the circumstances behind all of these decisions. That doesn't make it a good one. In fact, it was a deal breaker for a lot of people, including myself. That, and I was in my last year at school, and I really just didn't have time to play The Sims. However, once toddlers were finally added to the game, they were well worth the wait. In The Sims 2 and The Sims 3, toddlers had 3 goals: learn to walk, learn to talk, and learn to use a toilet. These goals pretty much return in The Sims 4, except there's more depth to them. Instead of just one simple true or false, have they learned it or not, the skills toddlers have are now divided into 5 levels, or 3 for the potty. Toddlers start out taking very wobbly steps and babbling, and eventually they get to the point where they can run and talk in full sentences. This added some much needed depth to the gameplay, and it made toddlers more realistic. But I think the true measure of how much toddlers have improved is simply by what they can do. In The Sims 2 and The Sims 3, toddlers pretty much crawled or walked around, and it was very limited. They couldn't climb stairs, they couldn't get their own food, and your adult Sims would have to take time out of their day to care for these toddlers. It was really kind of annoying, especially when the needs were just really low, and you're like, oh wait, well now we gotta feed the toddler. Now we gotta put the toddler to bed. I often in The Sims 2 put a dog bed in the house just so that the toddler could put themselves to sleep. In The Sims 4, however, things are much easier. For starters, toddlers can actually eat food. And not like toddler mush, I mean like real food, like everybody else in the household. So you don't have to take the extra 30 in-game minutes to pull something out of the fridge for the toddler. You just make the meal with the rest of the family, call them to the meal, and the toddler comes up and gets their food like everybody else. Another thing toddlers can do is put themselves to bed, and yes, they can even climb stairs once they reach the right movement skill level, which is amazing because now you don't have to tell your adult Sims to do it. You can just put everybody to bed, and so if everybody's really tired, they can just go to bed on their own. You don't have to tell your adult Sim to get out of bed, put the toddler in the crib, and then, oh my goodness, that was just annoying. But probably is the most amazing about toddlers is just the little things they can do. They can actually sit in chairs like actual toddlers. I remember when I first got the game and I made a sim of my cousin Walter, and I was completely blown away by the fact that he was playing with the tablet. I am not kidding you. Toddlers can play with the tablet. That was not something I was expecting at all. It was just an amazing surprise that they could even do that. And even with all these improvements, toddlers are still their needy selves. They still require people to care for them. They require attention, they require food. It's just that they're a little bit more independent when it comes to fulfilling their own needs, which is really helpful. Build mode has been a staple of the Sims games since the original, and I probably have messed with it in at least every iteration of the game. However, I wasn't that big of a builder until The Sims 4. Mostly because, oh my goodness, I just wanted to play the game. I honestly didn't really care about building all that much. I just wanted to stick my Sims in a house and jump straight to the gameplay. Because, well, building was just kind of a boring necessity that I just wanted out of the way. But I started building in The Sims 4 and I realized that this game actually made building fun because there are so many things you can do and so many more possibilities. Yes, Move Objects On has been around since the beginning as well. But in The Sims 4, there are other things you can do with that cheat. You can raise and lower certain objects. So, if you have a mirror and you have the faucet of the sink sticking through it, you can actually raise it to the proper level. And this also will allow you to put several objects on shelves that you normally wouldn't be able to. And trust me, that's a necessity. You also have the ability to scale objects. You could make certain objects larger or smaller depending on what you want. So if you see a nice small little shelf face and you want that to be a centerpiece in the corner of the room, why would you have a centerpiece in the corner of the room? I don't get that. Why did I just say that? You could simply make it bigger and stick it there. Also, if you have something that's big and you need to make it smaller, you can do that as well. The only problem is that the slots on the things still stay the same, but that's what the red shelf is for. And probably one of the biggest features that everyone was so excited about when it was introduced, customizable stairs. In previous Sims games and earlier in The Sims 4 actually, stairs were just like a complete straight shot, which really made building floor plans actually kind of annoying because, well, you couldn't replicate the stairs, and then you had to, okay, well, this is facing a wall, and then you only have one square, and Sims are not going to be able to navigate that, all that just giant mess. You don't have to worry about that anymore because you can actually make stairs that resemble stairs in reality. But overall, Build Mode has a lot of different opportunities and options available to you, so you can really kind of create the space you want. And that's just what I think is more fun than Build Mode in previous Sims games. One of the new features the Sims 4 brought to the table was the emotion system. And I know, a lot of people say that the emotion system is weak, and that doesn't, change gameplay all that much, but I kind of beg to differ. For example, in The Sims 2, if you had a Sim that wet themselves, their memories might state that they wanted to crawl into a hole. However, the only drawback you actually get from that is hygiene failure, and believe it or not, some Sims find that attractive. And hygiene being one of the less important motives, well, that didn't really impact the game all that much. Now, in The Sims 3, it was a little bit better because you get a negative mood lit, but all that would do is just put your Sim in a bad mood, and they might have already been in a bad mood, they might be in such a good mood, so happy, something wonderful just happened, that they don't even care. And again, there really just wasn't all that much of a consequence to it. However, in The Sims 4, if your Sim has an accident, they get an embarrassed moodlet, and it's a pretty strong one. Being embarrassed will prevent your Sim from socializing efficiently, and all socials have a much higher chance to fail. Also, your Sim will just go run and hide in a closet, or a toilet stall, or even under the covers, because, well, they don't want to be around people. And it's things like that that make the emotion system a good addition to the game. It's also handy when you're making videos because I can have the Sims portray the mood I want them to. I can have my happy Sims be happy. I can have sad Sims be sad. I can have angry Sims be angry. It's just a great tool to use when you make your videos. But what you probably haven't noticed about emotions are the little details. Did you know that if you have a playful teen sit on the couch and do their homework, they'll make the book talk? I legit didn't even know this was a thing until I had Lilith Pleasant do it when I was filming Trouble in Paradise, and she just made the book talk. Naturally, I went with it. But it's the little things like that that make emotion such a great feature. And even if you don't think so, you have to admit that it is nice to have Sims be in the right mood that you want them to be. Now, you could say that The Sims is primarily a PC game, and for a long while, that was pretty much true. I mean, you could get the game on console, but it was really just a watered-down version of the game. There wasn't as much you can do. And in the case of The Sims 2, well, it wasn't even the same game. Key things that really made The Sims great weren't available in those console games, and so really it was just a rip-off of your money. Sims 3 was kind of the same way. It was a little bit better, but the console version of The Sims 3 had like loading screens when the PC version was open world, and basically the general consensus was if you were going to play The Sims, you were going to do it on the PC because console games were just terrible. Like, sometimes you even have to wonder why they even exist. However, The Sims 4 for console has basically no gameplay differences whatsoever from The Sims 4 for PC. It's the exact same game, which is a really good thing because I feel like if you're gonna put a game on the console, give them the actual game, people! It also increases accessibility for some people because although a high-end gaming PC can cost over $1,000, an Xbox One or a PS4 is only going to set you back a couple hundred. And so there are probably people who have those systems but don't have a really good computer that has the capability to run The Sims. And given that console players have now gotten access to the gallery, it becomes more of a shared experience. There's not as much of a distance between console players and PC players anymore. Even the gallery is cross-platform, and that's really great. However, there are some issues with the console version of the game in the fact that they don't get the packs when the PC players do, and some packs they don't even get at all because it requires other packs to work. Which really should have been like a warning sign to the Sims team, like, why the heck are you doing this? But allowing the full game to be played on the console is something that The Sims 4 has done exceptionally well. Now, those of you who have played The Sims 2 are probably familiar with this scenario. Your Sim comes home from work or school and they have several needs in the yellow, maybe even in the red. They're hungry, so you have to go make them some food. And especially in The Sims 2, that's going to take some time if there's no leftovers in the fridge or whatever. Because, well, you can't just grab a bowl of cereal because it doesn't fill your hunger need all the way and they'll be hungry like 2 hours later. Like, what? And once that's done, you'd think you might be able to do homework or build skills, so you might need to get promoted. But no, your fun motive is really low, and so you have to take time to do that. And by that time, you need to go to the bathroom, and you need to take a shower. And by the time that's all over, your Sim is tired, they need to go to bed, and they haven't actually been able to get anything done. Or you have had them do the homework, and their fun need is down so low that they go to work or school the next morning and come back, and the whole thing starts over because you can't get them to do the homework or the tests that are needed for promotion or whatever. Yes, managing your needs in The Sims 2 is taxing at times. And so being able to multitask in The Sims 4 and being able to fill multiple needs at once is a real godsend. Now, this ability did exist in The Sims 2, but it was extremely limited. For example, if you were relaxing in bed, you could read, watch TV, or listen to music, but there really isn't all that much you could do. You can also read the newspaper while you sat on the toilet, but I haven't seen that many Sims actually do that all that much. And plus, if you remember the little tutorials that they set up at the beginning of The Sims 2, the strategy guide specifically says to watch Darren Dreamer's needs as he's creating the paintings, because not only will comfort drop, social will as well. Well, that problem is completely eliminated in The Sims 4 because Sims can now paint and talk at the same time. So in The Sims 4, your Sim comes home from work or school and has a bunch of needs in the red. You can just have them grab a bowl of cereal, sit in front of the TV, and that will fill hunger and fun so that they're ready to go build some skills or do their homework or whatever. It's just really, really amazing. It explains the game so much easier and actually makes your Sims much more productive. And so, there you have it. 5 things The Sims 4 does well. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate you leaving a like. Don't forget to leave a comment as well, as long as it's respectful. And if you want to see more of this type of video or other stuff, be sure to subscribe. Also, you can follow me on social media if you want to see behind the scenes, sneak peeks, fun facts, stuff like that. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at VisitJoan. And if you want to see my thoughts on all things Sims related, you can follow me on Twitter at VisitJoan Videos. But for now, I'm going to get up out of here. Bye, everybody!